Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 12-inch Figure Fanatic. Today we're going to open up Present Toys Flight Officer. This is Sigourney Weaver's character from the movie Alien. No, is it Alien? No, Aliens. Sorry, the second one. I already have a previous version that was put out by Hot Toys a while back, and we're going to do a side-by-side comparison between the two and see which one comes out on top. I also have a custom head sculpt on that Hot Toys one, so we're going to see if they match up. I know I haven't been impressed with the initial production photos, and a lot of complaints about this particular figure have been about the lack of accurateness in the head sculpt. So let's see how it feels in person. All right, folks, I apologize. There were some technical issues on this video. So I had recorded the unboxing, but the audio had run out of batteries. This is a video already in progress, I guess you could say. So you're going to miss the unboxing portion because I don't want to fake it and put everything back in there. And I'm not a type of person to fake things. So instead, I'm just going to show you the figure. So here she is. I will say that I'm very impressed with the head sculpt. I mean, let me say more impressed than I was initially looking at the production photos, because the photos didn't look as good as this in person. So I have no disappointments there. It's debatable whether it would have been nicer to have a rooted head sculpt, but I do like how they did the bangs and everything, detailed enough on the hair. So no disappointments there. The body is seamless, and it does have an overall even skin tone color with the head sculpt. And the entire body is weathered appropriately. Some people have been customizing it by adding a stain here, so it looks like she's soaked in sweat in the chest area. I think that looks very nice. You may want to do that if you get this figure. The zippers really work on here, which I think is nice. They didn't have to do that because most people aren't going to use them. The shoes are weathered. However, there's an issue with the shoe, and I think what they did is somehow, instead of sculpting two shoes or boots, they sculpted one and then did the other one in reverse. In other words, maybe they scanned it and then made the mold out of the reverse of this one. Because if you look on here, it says Ripley, and here it says Ripley. But here and here, it's in reverse. It's backwards. So that is, to me, that's a huge error there, because it's kind of obvious, even from a reasonable distance, when you're looking at the shoes, which are unique and kind of a hallmark of this figure, to see that the other side doesn't make any sense. The ammo here is, it's not glued in, so it has the ability to fall out technically, but it's pretty firmly in place. Overall, a good figure. I do like it. Let's see what else she has here. So we have the face hugger, which to me the color is a little bit off. It should be kind of yellowish, and instead it's kind of pinkish, so it doesn't look right. And I thought the tail was just like perfectly round, like a snake. Instead, it's very like fat and wide, and like flat. It's flat on the sides here, but decent enough. Now I would have either liked to seen this rubber, or even better, have it a material where there's some wireframe in the tail and in the fingers, so that you can pose it in different ways. Because sometimes, you know, it's standing on its tail, or to be able to arrange the fingers around somebody's head. You can't do that with this one. And then there's this pod. It has a foam bottom here, so it's gentle on whatever surface you have it displayed on. And then there's this deep recessed area here, and you would figure like maybe another reason to have this a different material, so that you can actually fold it in here, because I have one like this. It's a little bit larger, and it has a spring-loaded action here, so that you push the rubber face hugger in there, and then you press a button, and the whole thing pops out, which is pretty cool. So this doesn't have any of that going on. We have the flamethrower, which is just one single sculpt, but painted very nicely, weathered appropriately, and it's got the shoulder strap. And the pulse rifle, my favorite rifle out of any sci-fi movie. I've always been in love with this thing. It's got this flashlight taped to the top here. It has pump action. No other moving parts to it. Now, one thing I don't like about this, though, is that they sculpted the number read of the rounds left in here. It should be a screen, right? So you wouldn't expect to have any texture to it. But they took a shortcut and had it so the number 95 here is raised, and that allowed them to paint it more easily. But I would rather have been a sticker that was affixed in there with the readout, and it would have glowed a little bit better too. I don't think it's bright enough. But otherwise very nice, also nicely weathered. You have her pack, which has some Velcro closure to it. And the pouch doesn't open. That's all right. It's got some foam in there for volume. And you've got the stand, which has some grilling effect, but it's just a sticker in there. I would have liked to have actually been grading, and especially considering that if they painted it black inside and then had the grading on top, I could have gone in there and inserted a very soft glow LED so that you get some pop out light effect from the grilling, like in the film. And also it says flight officer. I don't want it to say that. I don't care about some generic title that they use to avoid licensing issues. I would have preferred it said Ripley, or I would have preferred it said the title of the film. So I'd probably go in there and change that myself and print something out and stick it on top. But it is an upgraded stand versus the regular basic one, so I appreciate that. So let me set this thing up, put it side by side with the Hot Toys version, and give you my final thoughts. All right, so here's the two figures side by side. Huge difference in the head sculpts. Compared to this figure, this one looks much smaller. I mean, if you put them side by side, there's a difference in size, not only in height, but in the size of the head sculpt. This head sculpt, let me take this off here. Now the leg is broke on my other one. So this is a custom head sculpt, but the head is way too large. Looks cartoonish almost. But the likeness was pretty decent. The paint job could have been way better. But one critical error that I noticed with the Present Toys version is in the film, she's got both these weapons together. She tapes them together. So she's got the flamethrower and the pulse rifle. They didn't do that with this one. I mean, so you could take some electrical tape and do it yourself, but they didn't account for that. Other than that, everything about this other figure is better. I mean, this one, this has a lighter blue than this one on the pants, and I don't have any stills of the film to be able to do a comparison, but I think this color is more accurate. The boots, though, on the Hot Toys version is a little bit more detailed. The details pop out a little bit, and they don't have the same errors as the other one that we pointed out earlier. But it also doesn't say her name on it at all. I never noticed in the film that her boots did say her name, but some of you diehard Alien fans might be able to say that was the case. Overall, I'm going to give this figure a let's say a 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, the biggest issue is just the readout on the rifle and the fake grading on the stand. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and see you next time.